What's going on, guys? Do me a favor and be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share, and that thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. You know, I'm getting tired of seeing Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They need to take him out and bench him for a while and put another quarterback in there that can actually make accurate passes. He killed the Jaguars today. Overthrew receivers. Reminds me of Stetson Bennett. Underthrowing receivers. And then on top of that, when he would hit a receiver, they couldn't hang on to the ball. And you can agree with me if you want, but Trevor Lawrence isn't the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence isn't going to take Jacksonville to where they need to get. This is starting to look ridiculous. Here we go again. Dang, they first start out the season and you're like, where did this team come from? Well, reminds me of Georgia. They played lights out. Defense. No offense could hardly stop the Jaguars' defense. Now all of a sudden, the defense is falling apart. And I can tell you one thing for sure. Tyson Campbell needs to be sitting on the bench instead of starting at cornerback for the Jaguars. Tyson Campbell is so pitiful. This man, I don't know how he's a starting cornerback for Jaguars. He cannot cover a receiver for nothing. And when he does cover the receiver, he face guards him. Why don't you turn around and look for the ball? I don't know how many times he's gotten called for pass interference this year because he don't turn his head and look for the ball. Instead, he face guards the receiver and is all up on him and gets called for pass interference. I don't know how many times this year he's been called. Probably can't count on my all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. So the Jacksonville Jaguars lose to the Houston Texans 13-6. The Houston Texans. You let Houston Texan come into Jacksonville and beat you at home. I guess Trevor Lawrence wasn't the quarterback that Jacksonville thought he was when they drafted him. And who drafted Trevor Lawrence? Urban Crier. They need to let Trevor Lawrence sit on the bench, and they need to start their second string quarterback in Beathard. Trevor Lawrence just can't get the job done for the Jaguars. And I said it a while ago. And you can agree with me or you can disagree with me. Either way. I'm only telling you how I feel and what I think. The Texans come in at 0-3. You're sitting at 2-2. And they come into your stadium and defeat you. And I say, as long as Trevor Lawrence is behind center, Jacksonville ain't winning a game. This man couldn't hit a fly on the wall today. But he's supposed to be the greatest quarterback coming out of college. Don't look like he's the greatest quarterback to me. And receivers, maybe it's time Jacksonville needs to start looking for some different receivers. About the only good receiver on this Jaguars offense is Zay Jones and Marvin Jones Jr. If I was the Jaguars, I would bench the rest of the receivers and start different receivers next week. That game was watching the Jaguars today was awful. It was pretty awful last week when they played Philadelphia. Jaguars need new cornerbacks on the field, period. They need to put new cornerbacks across the line, period. Because none of these cornerbacks can cover worth of crap. And one of them come over from Seattle, the Seahawks. And he ain't done nothing since he's got to Jacksonville. Shut up! Sorry about that. I'm dealing with the bird. Shut up! Maybe Doug Peterson needs to go back and watch film and see the way these cornerbacks cover and see the way these cornerbacks give these receivers too much space on the line of scrimmage. Why aren't these cornerbacks playing tighter coverage? Beats me. Blows my mind that they're not playing tighter coverage on these receivers. and the defensive line couldn't stop the running back. This man probably broke about 10 tackles before he got stopped at the 1 yard line. It is time. And if you a Jaguars fan, leave a comment down below and let me know how you feel. But it is time to put Mr. Trevor Lawrence on the bench. This man needs to sit on the bench for a while and look at himself in the mirror and see how he's been playing the last couple of games. Why are you forcing balls downfield that you shouldn't even be throwing? Why are you going to throw the pass in the end zone knowing the defender is playing right up on the receiver? And you force it to that receiver and it gets intercepted. Trevor Lawrence made some dumb mistakes today. And yes, I said dumb. He is forcing plays when he don't have to. Instead of throwing it into tight coverage and it being intercepted, you could have ran for a couple yards and got to go to the next play. And Doug Peterson was a quarterback himself. He needs to be on the sideline and talking to Trevor Lawrence. He is supposed to be a quarterback guru. But you see Trevor Lawrence comes off of the field, he goes and he sits on the bench. And you don't even see Doug Peterson going over there to him, patting him on the shoulder and talking to him. Maybe what needs to happen, like I said, Jacksonville needs to bench Trevor Lawrence and put in their second string quarterback and see how he plays. He can't play no worse than what Trevor Lawrence has played the last few games. How do you know? The team might rally around the backup quarterback. They might play better for the backup quarterback. Is this team getting tired of playing with Trevor Lawrence or for Trevor Lawrence? Are they starting to get upset? Put in the backup. Let's see how the offense performs next week with the backup starting. Because Trevor Lawrence just ain't getting the job done. The offensive line. They gave this Robertson dude a contract extension, and he has underperformed all season. The offensive line is atrocious. Now, I'm only telling you like I see it. But the Jaguars' offensive line needs some major work. You have a chance to go downfield, score, and go ahead of the Texans, and instead you can't capitalize. You turn the ball over, or you get stopped on downs and have to punt it away. Like I said, Georgia needs to do. This coaching staff needs to go back and watch game film. They need to watch a lot of game film. There needs to be some changes on this offensive line and on this defense. And Tyson Campbell shouldn't even be a starting cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, like I said a while ago. This guy's pitiful at covering receivers. This guy, Tyson Campbell, couldn't cover a turtle. And you just can't watch him. It's sickening watching him out there on the field, trying to cover receivers. Why is Tyson Campbell, besides the other cornerbacks, why is Tyson Campbell playing further back off of the receivers than the other cornerbacks? I think every time I've seen him cover a receiver, he's playing about 15, 20 yards off of the receiver. Why? Has he still not learned? He's been with the Jaguars for 2 seasons now. Has he still not learned how to play cornerback? It is time for them to bench Tyson Campbell. He shouldn't even be out there on the field. He needs to be a second or third string cornerback. I don't know how Tyson Campbell won the starting cornerback job for the Jaguars. When he was with Georgia, he couldn't even cover receivers. And he always got called for pass interference. Whoo! So the Jacksonville Jaguars drop to 2-3 after losing to the Houston Texans today. That's why it is hard to pull for the Jaguars. 1 minute they got you thinking You can actually root for them, that they actually a team. And then all of a sudden, they start playing like crap. Do me a favor, Doug Peterson. Take Trevor Lawrence out. He is not the quarterback for your Jaguars. He didn't do nothing last year. And obviously, he's not doing nothing this year. And I don't care if you tell me, oh, but he's won 2 games. The Jaguars has won 2 games with Trevor Lawrence. I don't care. And they're 2-3. Like Georgia, they continue to play like they did today, and they're not going to win too many more games. They're going to lose a lot more than they win if they keep playing the way they did today. And that was a piss poor play by Trayvon Walker. You jumped off sides, and then you had the audacity to grab the quarterback when y'all had him 3rd and 20. You had the audacity, after the play was dead, to grab the quarterback by the shoulder pads and sling him down to the ground and get a personal foul called on you that ended up giving them a 1st down. Now, don't get me wrong. Trayvon Walker is going to be a good football player in the NFL. But he's got a lot to learn about the NFL game. And he's got a lot to learn on better pass rushing skills instead of trying to bull rush every time. That was a stupidity play on his part. That was uncalled for and unnecessary. And he comes off of the field, and then as soon as he comes off the field, the coach turns around and puts him right back in. He should have let him sit on the bench a couple of plays. The defense has got to get better. And if Trevor Lawrence is going to play next week, the offense has got to get better. And these receivers, they better go out starting today and start practicing catching the ball better. Because the offense and the defense didn't show up today for the Jaguars at all. Appreciate y'all watching my video. Appreciate everybody that enjoys and loves watching my channel. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful Sunday afternoon. Go Jags!